Alright, we're gonna have a little fun and do a little model comparison in this video. Now, I've been looking at my YouTube analytics and a lot of people have been dropping out because I don't do the winter hint soon enough, and that's completely understandable. I'm not like judging you or anything. I would do the same thing probably. So I'm gonna get straight to the winter hint, and then if I feel like it, I'll do the other stuff, but let's just go straight to the winter hint. So we're going to compare three models, actually two models and one forecast. So the forecast is going to be NOAA's forecast, and the models are going to be the Canadian and the Jamstack model. So we're looking at our Canadian, and we're going to look at it for our temperature anomalies for winter, and just doing a little fresh comparison, spontaneous comparison on it. I don't got a script, in other words. But here's, let's do our classic winter months of January, December, and February. So again, very cold look in the north, warm in the southwest, but I mean, this is very cold. Let's take a look at our precip. Just take that in for a second, and we'll look at our precip anomalies, seasonal for this time. Okay, so again, it is dry in those areas. But I always remind people of this. Even though it's dry, doesn't mean you can't get a lot of snow, because it requires less precipitable water to snow than to rain. So you can still get dry conditions and still have a lot of more snow than usual. Now rain's different because you need more precip. It's liquid, and snow is less liquid. So, all right. This is interesting. In the Northwest, it's dry. But again, it's not so interesting because you can see that El Nino subtropical storm track jet stream, the subtropical jet, riding along the East Coast, which is why I'm very cautious and very anticipatory about this being a big nor'easter winter. On top of the winter, I think we'll see in the Great Lakes and Midwest. So, three areas I'm looking for cold and snow this winter are the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. So three areas I'm very concerned for a lot of snow based off this model especially. Now let's switch it up and look at our forecast before we look at our next model. Our forecast is off NOAA, our seasonal outlook for temperatures January, February, and March. So this is winter, January, February, March, without December, lacking that only. But again, they're forecasting a very warm look. So this is a very different look and perspective to their winter forecast. Again, a lot of warmth in the Northwest. And remember, we saw a lot of dry in the Northwest in the previous model. So again, a lot of dry. We just switched back to the Canadian, but taking a look at the temperature seasonal, it is also warm in the Canadian, okay, for the Northwest. So switching back, not to confuse you too much. I know I'm switching here a lot, but okay. So this NOAA seasonal forecast for January, February, March has warm in the Northeast, warm in the Northwest. Those are two primary areas of warmth. Just to get the main like features of this, the very distinct things I'm noticing on this is that we had to let's backtrack to December, January, and February. So again, much of the same, a lot of warmth to the northern half of the USA. Let's go to February, March, and April, the later part of winter, the very, very later part of winter and early spring. Again, it has a warm east coast, warm west coast. So let's take a look at our climate prediction. No, our Jamstack. I'm sorry. So again, we're going to take a look at this winter forecast and kind of compare all three charts, so to speak, because again, two were models. One was a forecast. This is a model. We're going to look at our ensemble because it's most accurate, because it's taking an average of every single model and putting them all together on average in an ensemble package. So here's our temperatures for this winter. Again, it's a little bit small, but I can assure you this has cold in Texas and Florida, in the Mid-Atlantic, places like Washington, D.C., Cleveland, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, Iowa, Tennessee, Kansas, Oklahoma, all these areas in Nebraska. It's very widespread. And again, that's due to the Modikai signature signal for this El Nino, the super El Nino. So again, the distinction here I want you to really get is that this is forecasting a super El Nino, but a Modikai El Nino, which is why it's leaving a lot of room for cold in the eastern half of the USA, or eastern 2/3 of the USA, basically. So let's take a look at precip, because this model has all three precip, sea surface temperatures, and surface temperature anomalies. So again, our precip is very similar with the Canadian, where it has that subtropical jet stream. So that's something that's coming to alignment. So you can see more agreement on that in the model. So that's something that as we go further in the next 3 or 4 months, if we continue to see alignment and agreement on the models, then there's pretty a good assumption that that will be a likelihood for the winter. So December and February, again, a lot of precip for California and a lot of precip over the southeast mid-Atlantic, which again, nor'easter hotspot, which is why I'm using the Canadian and the Jamstack to forecast my nor'easter forecast for this winter. Keep in mind those two are both cold. The NOAA seasonal forecast is not. So we have a little bit of difference there. Let's take a look at our sea surface temperature anomalies. So again, we have this big super El Nino feature here in the equatorial Pacific. We'll see how that goes, and let's close off with looking at a few more things. This is also winter, so don't get discouraged. I'm not leaving you off the hook yet. So take a look at our El Nino. We're going to take a look at our anomalies for our El Nino, in other words, our temperature averages. So basically, you can see that El Nino getting stronger and stronger. We currently are definitely in El Nino status territory and category. So yeah, we're there. I mean, that's confirming the model forecast that we are heading towards an El Nino. Most definitely, it's imminent. It's here. So yeah, there's that. That's El Nino that's currently in the picture right here now as we speak, June 27th today of 2026. And the other thing I wanted to look at is this is also part of my winter hint. It's our Climate Prediction Center 6 to 10 day forecast. Actually, we'll do our 8 to 10 day outlook, running a long time. So here's July 4th through 10th. The warmth retrogrades, in other words, it moves westward towards the northern plains. So, but again, it's a very hot look for the summer. I see some forecasters forecasting a warm summer now. Some still going with cold, I would assume, but really mixed bag. But I'm sticking with my forecast, which is a cooler than normal summer in the central part of the USA. So again, the analog is what I wanted from this for this winter hint, because this is big for winter. What you get in the summer pattern correlates to the winter in terms of your analog years. We have 2021, which the winter of 2021-22, I don't have any, direct memory of that. I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was the winter we had a big snow here in Cleveland. Let me look that up and then I'll close out. Cleveland, Christmas Day snow. So it was really cool. So I know a lot of you are like, oh, yeah. So we did get 5.3 inches that day. It was very cool because we don't always get snow on Christmas Day here in Cleveland. I know a lot of people, it's kind of also a rarity too. It's just a very hard thing to do. It's a very precise kind of, everything has to align right for that to happen. So, all right, guys, I got 30 seconds left, but I hope you enjoyed this winter hint. Hope you look forward to the winter and looking forward to it with me and going over together all the elements of the factors of the forecast together. In the meantime, this is Tyler's World of Weather. If you enjoyed this update, please do me a favor and like this video. Also subscribe and share. And leave a comment below. What do you think this winter will be? Thanks for watching. Have a great day.